Hey neighbor, we're talking about the superfood today, and our superfood is whole grain foods, such as this cornbread right here. How long we been doing grinding our own corn? Maybe 10 years or so? We're gonna do a deep dive into this, give you all the resources you would need. Why or why not do it? So join us today, and we've got a great giveaway there at the end. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. So what the garden's kicking along. Now we've been extremely dry here, folks, for a month, and we got 6 inches of rain last week. 6 inches. In a week. It rained 4 different days, sometimes more than once a day. So it's a feast or famine here on our homestead. Some of you guys out here are still dry. I pray that y'all get some rain, but we're in pretty good shape right now. In fact, we could stand to dry up just a little bit.
I know, our tomatoes are busting.
Busting, everything's...
We're never happy.
I thought the same thing.
We want the dry weather so our tomatoes will make, and then we get the rain and they start busting. We wish it was dry.
Well, the reality is, and I hate to say this, the reality is if you got drip irrigation, you make a better garden in dry weather.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Although, you know, a great balance is the perfect year is what you want. However, we very seldom have those.
But mine's doing good overall.
Yeah, your raised beds are doing good because they're raised beds. That's one thing about them is, you know, if you do get a lot of rain, the raised beds handle it a lot better. Folks, that right there is Jimmy Red cornbread, and we're going to be talking about that today. Oh, that's a work of art right there. Isn't it? Woo. All right, so I got Blade of the Week, Mama. Look right there. Have you seen this?
I saw you trying to pass it off yesterday as an old knife.
Yeah, well, it's not an old knife. I was trying to get this right here. I actually bought this thing on Facebook, I think. It's Condor brand, which you've heard me talk about before, but this particular model is a new model called the Lost Roman. And I seen this thing up close, and I said, I got to have it. So I've showed it to a couple of people, and they all asked, is this all hand carved in there? Well, I don't know the answer to that. I would say probably not. But it's absolutely a beautiful knife. Comes with a nice leather sheath I got on my side. I've been toting it for a day and a half since I got it.
To open up a can?
That or hit somebody over the head with it. It's called a plummel. Plummel is what it's called there. But it's you can hit things with it and things like that. A beautiful knife. I'm a big fan of Condor knives. This is less than $100, y'all. And made in El Salvador. I believe this is 1075. High carbon steel.
Does that justify it?
Yes, beautiful knife.
Less than $100?
Less than $100
so
with
I
the shoe.
I can go buy me all the shoes I want if they're under $100.
We was in the shoe store over the weekend, and I seen her buying more shoes. So I said, do we really need more shoes? Evidently we did, because we got another pair. But anyhow, I just thought to show you all that. Right, you can buy these things off Amazon. Condor Lost Roman, a beautiful knife right there.
Now my shoe thing, I have a really bad foot, and it's a legit reason that I have to.
It's a legit reason that you have to have so many shoes.
Well, they don't last very long.
Well, why do we keep them?
I'll go through them.
Okay. Today's not the time to get on your shoe fetish, is it?
No, because you have a shoe fetish too.
I'm not as bad on shoes as I am hats and shoes.
We bought 5 pairs of shoes Saturday.
Between the two of us. Now, 2 of them was for my 86-year-old dad.
2 of them went to your daddy.
But anyway. All right, folks. We're going to be talking about corn today. And particularly corn, but this would go with any type of grain. But we don't grow oats or wheat ourselves. We do, but we don't harvest them. I grow oats and wheat both. But
is corn a vegetable or a grain?
Well, that's a great question. Is it? Well, it could go both ways.
It could be either.
Yes, it can.
When it's harvested fully mature and dry, it's considered a grain. When it's young and you've got the soft kernels,
the milking stage.
The milking stage is considered a vegetable.
So, for me, I enjoy growing the heirloom corns. I love that. But there's a different stage after that. It's actually processing and using them after the fact. You know, we've got friends out there that don't even garden, but they have a grinder and they buy their grains, or somebody gives them some grains or some wheat over there, and they actually grind fresh.
There's several good places that you can actually buy your organic grains from.
Yeah, they call them wheat berries.
Yeah.
The wheat, and you can buy them, and you can buy oats, you can buy all kind of
At
things.
Whole Foods, at Azure, a lot of people get theirs from the Azure Standard.
Yeah, and you can buy the organic type, and you can grind your whole.
So if you don't have a garden and you can't grow these, you still can enjoy them.
Yeah. Now, to me, part of the allure to it is being able to grow your own corn and stuff. So last couple of years, I've grown Jimmy red corn. This year, I have got Hickory Kings growing. I pulled this today just to show you guys. This is a little past what we call the milk stage. It still lacks a lot before it's going to get ready. And we're going to let this dry to pretty much on the stalk there. And I just want to show everybody what it's looking like in this stage. It's past the stage of where we could probably eat it in the milking stage, but it's starting to get the little dimples in the corn there. Yeah, it's getting tough. Really tough. Really, really tough.
Dry,
Yeah, you couldn't eat that. I mean, you could, but you wouldn't want to.
Let's talk about the different types of corn. Because not all corn can you turn into
Well,
the
not
meal.
that you would want to. However, I did read a little article yesterday where there is a red sweet corn that they recommend you can grind corn flour with.
Oh,
It's the first time I'd ever heard that. I was actually looking at adding a red sweet corn to our variety mix here, and in the description they had it, some people actually grind it. I said to myself, I don't know how well that would work because those sweet corn kernels shrink up so much, but it said it in the description right here. So I got some Jimmy Red here, and y'all can see the dimples. Let me kind of move it out here. We're going to talk about dent corn to start with because that is the most popular corn, yeah. So this, let's see if I can get to the side where dent corns,
10:19 a.m.
have the little dimple in the top there. That's a dead giveaway of a dent corn, a little dent in the top there. Normally speaking, the kernels there are wider than the flints and the others. So you can look at one from a ways and tell if it's a flint or a dent. Dent corns are the most popular for grinding. They make the best cornmeal and corn flour in my book like that. So normally speaking, we use dent corns for our grinding. Now flint corns are more round. Now this one right here, it looks, that's dent, but they're more roundish, look glass gem. We got some glass gem right here.
what's that jar down there? Is that blue or is that glass?
That's blue. I thought we had some glass gem. If you know what glass gem corn looks like, then it is a flint corn. Flint corns are known to be extremely hard. So they're a lot harder to grind. Not saying that you can't, but they're a lot
Show
harder
some
to
of that
grind.
blue, yellow.
Yeah. This is a variety here. A friend of ours, we actually went and did a video down at his place. This is his Cherokee White Eagle seed corn. And this right here is a flint. No, excuse me, a dent corn right here. And like I said, that is the most popular type that you want to grind. The flint corns, the little round kernels, are more likely used as ornamental corns, as fall harvest corns and things
Indian
like that.
corn.
Most of your popcorns are of that type.
Do you know why the popcorn pops?
I do not.
Because the popcorn kernels has a little drop of water in the center
And that heats up and causes it.
and causes the puff.
Didn't realize that. You've done your popcorn research, haven't you?
Yeah.
Of course, popcorn we know is popcorn. We use popcorn to grow out some microgreens, but I don't know of any other use besides popcorn besides popping popcorn. That's pretty much it. So we got dent, which is our most popular milling corn. We got flint that you see as the ornamental corns most of the time. However, some people will grind the flints, and we got the popcorn, and then we got sweet corn. Now, sweet corn, if you was to dry out sweet corn, if you've ever known sweet corn seed gets really small, swiveled up because it has so much starch and sugars in it that it'll dry up. It's not well for grinding at all. It takes a long time for them to shrivel up. So I've never seen nobody mill sweet corn.
I'd be interested if anybody has done that. Let us know.
Yeah. So anyway, that is kind of the definition of the different. Your phone's going crazy. I mean, your watch.
My watch.
Yeah.
When I touch it in a certain place, it tells me the time. I don't know why.
The joys of technology. All right, so let's talk about corns. There are some new varieties, or I say they are. There's a lot of new varieties of field corn. A lot of you farmers nowadays are growing these newer varieties that really produce a lot. They make these big kernels. They can plant a lot of seeds per acre, and they can get the most out of an acre with these newer varieties. However, these old heirloom corns, to me, have a unique flavor to them. Just really unique. They have a little earthy tone to them. They have a lot of history to them. So I am a big proponent of the heirloom corns. You can't plant near as many heirloom corns on a plot as you can these newer varieties, because new varieties have more vigor and they produce more. Normally speaking, on this right here, I would plant this ideally about a foot apart. Now, these old heirloom corns are going to be more drought resistant. They're going to be easy to grow. This Hickory King right here, we have stalks out there that's every bit of 12, 13 foot tall right now. And you see those husks right there? They're starting to, turn just a little bit. I am through watering them. Corn is made, so I will not irrigate no more, and I'll let them dry on out. Now, when would you harvest, if you're growing heirloom corns or any type corn for milling, when would you harvest it? Well, you want to leave them on that stalk till that stalk gets completely dry, and this will get completely dry. And ideally, you're going to have a moisture content of that grain, that corn, of around 14%. How do you know when that happens? Well, it shells easy. So once you pull one of those and it shells real easy,
Pops off.
you know you got it about right. Now, probably some of your county agents in your town have got moisture meters there at their office, and you can run a sample by there real quickly. They can tell you what it is, because they use that for the commercial farmers, and I'm sure they'd be glad to tell you what your moisture reading is. For me, I can tell when it's ready by how easy it shells off.
Going back to history a little bit. How did we end up with this type of corn? Because that's not what the
Oh man, you tested me here. So maize was first discovered. I'm saying, I'm going off of what I think here, down in South America, and then it kind of, as it worked its way up, varieties were selected to end us up with this type of corn for grinding. Am I correct?
well,
I see you got some
it was
notes
first cultivated in southern Mexico 10,000 years ago from wild grass called tezonite. And they were much smaller corn kernels, and the farmers would go through and pick out the best kernels, and over time
developed.
it
Yeah.
evolved in what we have today.
So if you ever watched a lot of history of corn thing, you'll notice down in Mexico they have probably more heirloom varieties there than they do anywhere else. On my bucket list, it would be wonderful to go down there if you had a tour guide to carry you around and see those different heirlooms.
That would be so fun.
I've seen some markets down there. People did videos at some markets and they have different types of heirlooms down there. That would be wonderful. Should be on my bucket list.
It should be.
Yep. For me, the two type that I grow, and everybody's got their favorites, is Jimmy Red and Hickory King. Jimmy Red's going to make a lot smaller stalk. You're going to get about 8 foot at the most out of this stalk right here. You're going to get about 12, 13 foot out of that Hickory King right there. Hickory King makes a lot longer cob there, but both of them are good. I've tried to rotate it out from every couple of years, switching out to a new variety. I got hung up on Jimmy Red there for a long time,
Yeah.
but we've got a good supply of Jimmy Red.
Oh, we're not out?
Oh, we still got.
Oh, I mean to sell.
You talking about corn seed?
Yeah.
Oh, I think seed. Yeah, I think we're about out.
So you let this dry on the stalk.
Let it drop down to the shells well. Then we pick it and we shuck it in the field by hand. We carry, and I have a sheller that
Do you let it dry any more in the greenhouse before you shell it?
I have. If I had a storm coming through, I have done this before. I have picked it and got the ears there and put a fan on it in the greenhouse. If I had a storm come through that I was worried about it, I've done that. The best thing to do, if it turns off hot and dry in August like it normally does, normally it'll dry out fine on the stalk there, and you can just pick it on the stalk there.
So you
shuck it.
planted this when?
Oh Lord, I planted it 2 weeks after my Jimmy Red. I don't know the exact date.
In May?
No, it was in April.
in April. And you will not take it off the stalk till
Probably end of August.
into August. So if you grow this, you've got to have a spot in your garden that you don't need,
Yep.
because it's
Yeah.
going to take a while.
It's gonna take a while. When I harvest it, I put it out there, then I shell it. When it gets nice and dry, I shell it, and I got my old time sheller like that.
We'll throw up the link to that video.
Yep. And shell it. Then I take it and I clean it. We talked about how this cleaning in this video that we're showing right here, but we can clean what we call the chaff off of it. You do that with a fan. We get it pretty clean, and then what do we do as far as how do we store this right here? That's always the key there, because one of the hard things about these grains is weevils. So the way we do it is we put it in a pillowcase and put it in a freezer.
And you don't want to go ahead and grind all of it and store it like this, because you lose some of the nutrients
And the freshness of it.
and the freshness of it. So we store it in here until I get ready to use it. And then I'll usually grind about a mason jar full at a time.
So we leave this in the freezer just like this right here. You can tie it down and put your Ziploc on it.
Did you show it the inside?
No, I did not. Ain't that pretty right there? Whoa.
Ooh.
All that Jimmy Red. And you'll be surprised how much corn that is and how much that'll last you right there. So when you put it in the freezer right there, that takes care of your weevil problem. They can't stand that cold, cold weather. So we actually leave it in the freezer all the time till we get ready to use it and go there and get it out. And then we grind it. Now, as far as grinding goes, there's several different ways you can do this. You can buy these mills out there that grind for people, and you can buy, I know in Heirloom, Georgia, there's a big mill there. But the idea behind this is being able to grind it as you need it, because you retain that freshness in it right there. So if you grind this right here, it's not gonna last as long as it is in the whole kernel state there. So let's talk about mills just a minute. Can you hear me that cornbread over here? Tell me your thoughts on that one right there.
Well, I've never used one other than this. I've seen a few on TV. I like this one. The one thing I don't like about it is the plastic parts. And after it sits for a while, I've broken this on one of mine. I've broken this off on one. And the
Now that
parts
being said, she's pretty rough on equipment.
the parts are easy to get. Another thing with this mock meal is, and it took me a while to figure out, and it can be so frustrating, you need to turn it on before you put your corn or grains in there. If not, it gets stuck. Then you got to take it apart, clean it, put it back together, recalibrate it. It's a learning curve. And like I say, since I've not had another one, I'm happy with this.
So this is mock meal is made in Germany there. We actually had the sales rep come over here and visit us for a couple of days. They
And showed us how to...
showed us how all the ins and outs of it. The mock meal has this particular model. They come out with other models now, but this particular one right here, there was a mock meal 100, which is what this is, and the mock meal 200. Same exact meal with the exception of the mock meal 200 had a little bit of bigger motor in there. These things are designed to grind just what you need when you're cooking. They're not designed for run for 2 or 3 hours. They're designed to take you a jar full of corn, grind it, sift it out, and you'll be done with it.
Yeah.
It's called a tabletop grinder.
And this one of the benefits of this mock meal is you can regrind. On some of the others, you can't re-mill.
Yeah, it has a little dial on the side there that you can change the grind,
Yeah.
finer grind or coarser grind.
So there's 3 different, there's fine, medium, and coarse.
Now these different type grinders right here, this right here is a stone mill. That means it's got 2 stones in the middle that go back and forth there. Stone mills are normally the preferred method of milling, however there are others out there. The others are burr mills where they have wheels on there and have these burrs on there, and these burrs catch and grind. And there's also another one called, inflection or something like that. I actually got one in the barn out there. I use those, and it's just 2 steel wheels that turn. It's got these little grooves on the metal that grinds up. I use that to grind my chicken food. For grinding for your use, I prefer, and most people prefer, what we call a stone mill. Now, these are made in Germany, and there's 2 or 3 more brands out there, leading brands, and most of these are made in Austria or Germany or somewhere over there in the UK. There is one made in the United States. I've seen it at shows. I've never used one, called a grain maker. Grain maker, I believe, is a burr mill, and it's really heavy made. Like I said, never used one, but made out west somewhere. These things are really, really
What
nice.
about the Nutri-Mill?
Nutri-Mill, I'm almost certain, I've never operated one. We got a neighbor that's got one, but I think it's a stone mill.
Yeah, now she likes it
Better than she does the malt
better
mill.
than the Mont Mill.
Yeah.
I think it's just what you're used to.
Preference or its price difference is not a whole lot different between the malt mill and the Nutri-Mill, and there are other ones out there as well. We just telling you the ones we have experience with. So after you set it and you grind it, you're going to come out with something like this right here. This right here has fine particles in it, and it has coarser particles in it. Here's the stage where you have to sift it.
Right here.
Where's my sifters? All right. So I built me some sifters a few years ago, and these sifters right here use a screen, and we use a stainless steel screen in there. You want to make sure you use stainless steel because it won't rust on you. So I got this screen from Meadows Mills out of North Carolina. I got my notes here somewhere because I called the guys this morning and asked them a couple questions to refresh my memory here. All right, the Meadows Mill people sell the screen, so you could just buy the screen, make your own little sifter here. I got a buddy that made one that's round, and it rotates round with a little motor there that he did. He bought the screen from Meadows Mill. On the grits, if you're going to build on grits, you want a number 12 mesh for the grits. Can you hand me the other? That is the one for the grits. Excuse me, this one here, if you can see, it's a little bit coarser. This is for the grits. This is the number 12 mesh. Now, a general screen for the flour, and we're talking about corn flour here, is a number 30 mesh, and it's a lot finer. So this is what we do. We take the first grind here, and we pour it. Well, I can't. I won't make a mess.
Well, that's
here.
right. I'll clean it up.
You'll clean it up. So we take our grind in here, and we pour it in the first one right there. Okay. Then we shake that. And I don't know if everybody's going to be able to see this, probably not. But I'm going to shake it right here. And a lot of this is going to fall through there. It's kind of moved around my hand. Ideally, you take it and just kind of shake it around, but I don't want to do that in here to make a mess. There we go. So you see there, I'm going to show you what I got. I got a lot of big particles there. These particles right here, you can do 2 things. You can take this and regrind this back down, or most people use this for chicken feed. So this is your largest particles. Now, your particles that came through here that stay on this screen, and I'm going to shake it right here because you see you was going to clean all this up.
This would be your grits.
This is your grits right here. This doesn't go through that screen, but it went through the other screen. And folks, right here on the bottom on this table right here, the one that come through this right here is our corn flour. So this is what I would consider a coarse flour mill. And what you can do beyond that is take you one of these little doohickeys. What do you call these? Flour sifters?
Flour sifter.
And you can put it through there and you can run the thing through
Actually, this is what I use.
there. This gives you the finer the flour.
Yeah, well,
You can't get grits out of this. You have to get grits using that.
yeah. So I use this. I'll take this here and run it through
And get your fine flour.
and let me just do it here, and get my fine flour.
So you're just feeding the chickens your grits and your coarse there.
Yeah. Where's it? This is some I've run through. I think that's been run through before, so it's not quite as, but look how fine that is.
And that's Jimmy Red, of course. You can tell it's got a little bit of a red tint to it. But folks, if you've never eaten fresh ground corn, you don't know what you're missing out on. It has a unique flavor, a real earthy flavor, a fresh flavor that we just absolutely adore. Now, you can buy grains online. You can grind your own. Why do you want to do that? Well, number one reason I think is the quality. The quality of this right here and the freshness right here makes a huge difference in the flavor of it. The second reason is over 95% of the corn that you buy in the United States in the grocery store is genetically modified. So if you buy an organic or you grow an organic non-GMO corn, then you take that out of the equation right off the get-go. You're eating a better source of food right there, a fresh source. If you grew it, you know where it come from, but if you don't know, if you didn't grow it, you buy it from a source that you trust, like a farmer that grows this type of corn. A lot of Amish people, we bought corn from the Amish up there in Ohio before growth, the Wapsie Valley corn. But a lot of Amish grow their own corn and grind their own corn. You can get them with motors, you can get them, hand cranks right there. Every one of the ones we have were motors. I did have a hand crank one in my, I got one that I bought years ago that I grind my chicken feed a lot with. So you can do either way, but the quality of the food is off the chain. So what I would do is recommend, first of all, if you don't know you want to go whole hog this, because there is a decent investment to be made in the grinder and stuff like that, especially if you're going to grow your own corn. But let's just say you want to just see if you think was, find a vendor out there, a small mill that grows heirloom corns, preferably organic, that grinds them for you, and see if you can buy some of the freshest that they have. Cook with it, see if you like it, and then if you do, then you want to maybe go to the next step, buy your grinder, then maybe start buying your grains, and then the step further is have your grinder and then start growing your own grains.
And we have the video you did with the guy with the blue.
Mr. Pope.
Mr. Pope.
Well, let's put it up right here. Everybody can look at it too. Now, Mr. Pope went all out on his equipment. He loves growing corn. He has this massive operation that's pretty neat.
He had an old grist mill restored. And we do have the number of the guy that restored his. If anybody is interested, just call customer service and they'll shoot it to you.
All right, so we got a giveaway to get, but first we need to do the...
Let's go ahead and talk about the giveaway.
No, go ahead and do the giveaway. All right, folks. We have some of these right here that are brand new. Now, these are made in the United States. This is the Bromwell's corn sifter here. Now, you can use this with any kind of flour.
Yeah.
But this is a neat little deal right here, and we've got several of these, and we want to give these away today. So I tell you what.
How much are these?
I don't have a clue. Now, these are a lot more expensive. These are not China made, so these are a lot more expensive than the China made ones right here. But being it's USA made, let's give away an odd number, 7 of them.
Okay.
7 of these right here we're going to give away. And the way we're going to do this is in the comments below, you put in there where you're viewing from, where your home is at, and we're going to take all those names and put in a random draw and draw 7 people to give away 7 brand new of these corn sifters right here. And if you, maybe that'll give you a start right there.
All right, garden spotlight.
Garden spotlight. Here, I like that. Got all carried away. All right.
This is Robert Rick's Zone 9.
Robert's got some nice raised beds.
He's harvested carrots, corn, cucumbers, eggplant, bell pepper, jambalaya,
Whoa, let's show
okra,
us carrots. Man, look at these carrots right here.
sweet potatoes. Oh, he's just everything.
Look at those carrots. Those tops are huge.
He harvested over 600 onions and 96 elephant garlic plants.
Look at his tomatoes right there. Yep, he's got his injector there. He's injecting everything.
It said this would not have been possible without your wheel hoe and drip irrigation system.
Look at the
Seeds
nice
and other
corn.
support.
Looks like he's got some sweet potatoes growing. Thank you, Robert, for sending that in. It's always nice to see garden potatoes. Let me touch on one thing right here. I had a lady this week that we talked about. Let me see if I can find the right picture here. I think I went through all of them.
There's only 4 pictures.
There's only 4 pictures, Greg. All right, here it is. Can you see in that picture right there how Robert raised his beds where he planted his tomatoes on right there? A lot of people this year wish they'd have done that. That's just a good insurance policy right there. If we do get a lot of rain, they won't drown out. They'll handle the excess moisture better. So you know what? That is I don't always do it. Most of the time I do, but that is a great strategy right there when you plant your garden in springtime, is either, especially tomatoes, is to plant and to heel to it and get them on a mound there. In case we do get a lot of rain, your garden can withstand that water if it's on those elevated beds. Robert knew that. He did a good job. So the old goat, folks, the old goat is on set here somewhere. He moves around. He gets a little Antsy has moved. So if you find the old goat, put in the comments where the old goat's at, and we'll do a draw next week for this week's winner. Last week's winner for the old goat is Tambra Smith. Is that Tamdra? Tamdra Smith.
Tambra.
It is Tambra. I was looking at it wrong. I was looking at it backwards. Tambra, sorry about that. Tambra Smith, send us your shipping information to
support@growhouse.com.
Yep. All right, folks. Thank you for joining us. We're fixing to dig into this cornbread right here. If nothing else, order you some good organic, fresh ground grains and try making you some cornbread, some
And you
grits.
can tell the difference.
And I promise you'll enjoy it. And then you may want to go a little further and get a little more sufficient and have all this. So when you need it, you just go to the freezer, dig it out, grind it, and make you some cornbread. Thank you for joining us. Get outside and get those hands dirty.